на Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо. Also, happy birthday, Sherry! Oh my gosh, you share your birthday with Ukraine. Hi, Juju. Hi, everyone. Happy Independence Day to Ukraine, even though it is incredibly bittersweet this time, but it is still a very, very, very amazing day for us, and it only reminds us of the hard fight that we had to endure to be here, and it only reminds us of how strong we are if Russia can't loosen their grip on us. Also, there is some idiot already commenting on my Instagram post that I shared about independence of Ukraine, saying, independence from whom? Wait, let me find this guy. I'm sorry. He's even saying this in Russian. Ukraine been fighting for its independence? Oh, that's on Zelensky's post. Oh my gosh. Independence from whom? Sorry. This man says, independence from whom? You get money. Well, you get dough, he says. You get dough in credit. You get weapons. You are beggars from the EU. Is that independence? Funny. Well. Oh. Ой, чуваче. Іди поплач Путіну. Honestly, I am very, very incredibly tired of responding to these people. So all I said was, well, dude, go cry. So yeah, I don't care how many names they're gonna try to call us. I don't care how many things they're gonna try to tell us. I don't care how much they're gonna try to bring us down. The whole point is that they are just bitter. They're jealous. They live in a country that absolutely, like, that just basically shows how miserable they must be living in their country that does not have rights, freedoms, or independence, and that none of the world supports them for all of those particular reasons. So if they would like to express their frustration onto Ukrainians for the fact that they have let their country be precisely the toilet pipe that it has, then oh well, you know, all speed, Godspeed to ya, Russian people. But yeah, so there we go. In other ways, in other news, I am incredibly toilet pipe implies they have plumbing. That is incredibly true, and I don't think they don't. They do. So, Veronica, thank you very much. I actually really enjoyed the United 24 collaboration too. I had no idea that Zelensky is going to post it on his profile, and I was already freaking out on live earlier today because if you guys haven't heard, my voice has been featured on Zelensky's channel because I had done a voiceover for sorry, I'm laughing from this Russian guy because he is so bitter, so incredibly bitter, and I don't even want to, honestly, I don't even want to entertain it, but I'm just gonna do this because honestly, I see what he's trying to do, but I'm not gonna react to it. But what I did want to show you is basically, Volodymyr Zelensky posted a video today. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, but I am incredibly proud of it because because This is my voice.
Been fighting for its independence. In 839, the state of Rus was formed around Kyiv.
That's me.
800 years later, the Tsar was quoted.
I'm sorry, I know.
In Ukraine was first used in 1187. In the 13th century, this crossroads civilizations became decisive in the Mongols' battle for Europe. After it weakened, Ukraine was forced to constantly defend itself. In the 17th century, the Cossack warriors formed a state called.
Okay, I promise I'm not gloating. It's just that I have no words. I was contacted by U24 a couple of days ago, really, and they asked me if I would do a voiceover for them for a history video. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they told me it would be posted on Independence Day. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. And then this morning, I received a message from them saying that they haven't posted it yet, but the president did. And I was like, what do you mean the president did? And so I went onto Zelensky's page, and I was like, oh my God, the president posted my vote. Like, I'm sorry, but I was just dying. I texted it to my dad. My dad was like, why are you sending me this video in English? I don't understand English. You know this. I don't know what it means. I can't translate it. I was like, man, please turn up the volume. And then my dad was like, oh my God, is that your voice? I was like, yes, it is on the president's page. And so, so then I, thank you, Jerry. And then I sent it to my mom, and my mom was like, oh, well, your dad already sent it to everybody. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, great. Then a bunch of my, 1 second, guys, I need to wipe Sunny's feet because Vasil is back, and of course he doesn't want to wipe Sunny's feet. Thank you, Arvind. So give me 1 second. Why did you just throw that?
I tried to put it. Hello, people. I hope you're doing okay. It's very hot. I don't know if that worth to wear my vyshyvanka today because I'm gonna die outside in my vyshyvanka.
You need to get a summer vyshyvanka, you know? Tina, go. Good girl! Good girl! Good bulldog! Sydney's coming with us, by the way. Sydney is going to be with the Ukrainian flag. But so basically my mom was like, oh my gosh, your dad already sent it to me. And then some of my classmates from back in school texted me, and they were like, wait, is that your voice? It sounds like your voice. And I was like, it is my voice. Anyways, I'm ready to retire. I think I've made it in life. I don't know if it goes downhill from here, but even if it does, I think that I've pretty much made it. So yeah, but I'm supposed to be doing a couple more videos with them, at least one more, and then we will see if these videos work out. Then I will be doing them on a constant basis. We don't know that yet, but we will see. There is supposed to be another one about another topic coming up soon. I hopefully will be able to do it in the next couple of days to record it, and then it should be coming out in September. Sani, what are you doing, baby? Hey, Bulgogian, stop it. Sani, hey, Sani. Sorry, she's like uncontrollably scratching herself. Sin, hey, treats, come here. So yeah, so basically, про підрив Дугіної, в мене є про це відео. З Днем Незалежності України, дякую! But yes, happy Independence Day. Enough about me, honestly. I feel like there's so many people that reposted this video that every time I go on, з Днем Незалежності України. There are so many people that reposted this video that every time I go on Instagram, I just keep hearing my voice, and I can't keep hearing my voice anymore. I mean, I know it's nice and it's not like anything to complain about, but it's just like I legitimately can't open Instagram because everyone's story, every single person's story has my voice in it because they reposted it from Zelensky, and I'm just like, I can't listen to it anymore. I'm very happy. I'm super proud that I made it, but I can't listen to my voice anymore. So yeah, so that's me. That is me today. Then yes, and that was it. I'm not giving you anything more. But that was it. Vasil and I are going to try and get some blue and yellow glitter before we go to the flag unveiling. We're gonna bring Cindy with us, which Vasil is so happy about. And I wanted to tell you a little bit. Thank you so much, little Cindy. Cindy is right here. She's begging for food, even though she just ate and was just walked by Vasil, and she's trying to like lick my legs. Cindy is being a little rascal, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about Ukrainian Independence Day. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what happened in 1991 on August 24th. I have a little article out here because I wanted to show you some lesser known photos from the Ukrainian Independence Day. My thumbnail today is actually a compilation of 2 photos from 1991, one that says Ukraine is leaving USSR, and one that has like a giant Ukrainian flag unveiled, and I just smushed them together as an overlay because I thought it was a good representation. And also, so here, I'll show it to you. So here, this is probably better. But so these are not just blue and yellow things that I added. Those are actually from a legitimate photo from 1991, where we unveiled our giant Ukrainian flag and brought it into the Ukrainian parliament. And then this is from the protest. And then this is a headline of the Soviet Union collapsing and Gorbachev leaving his post as the president, or as like the leader of the party. And so Ukraine, as an independent sovereign country, is 31 years old today. I wanted to show you guys some really beautiful, in my opinion, photos from the Declaration of Ukrainian Independence from 1991. So I'm going to read you some titles from this article and then demonstrate you photos. Basically, on August 24th, 1991, Ukraine proclaimed its independence from the Soviet Union. And the Soviet Communist Party was trying to bring the party back together. Так, звичайно, зі Львова. Was trying to bring the party back together in order to restore the Soviet Union that Gorbachev just basically destroyed. But Ukraine was like, no, we're not going to let it happen. We are going to, thank you so much, Truthful. We are going to ratify the Declaration of Independence, and we are going to proclaim that act, because there is absolutely not a single way that we are going to go back to the Soviet Union. We are an independent country. And people were protesting for quite a while for the independence of Ukraine from the USSR, and no one wanted to be back into the USSR. But so this photo that I'll be showing you right now is Дякую. Якщо ви сьогодні дивилися пости Зеленського, то це відео про історію України, коротку історію України, це мій голос. Crowds wearing Ukraine's national colors demonstrate in front of the Communist Party headquarters in Kyiv in August 1991. During the Soviet era, expressions of Ukrainian linguistics, cultural and religious identity were suppressed. Ukrainians were sometimes killed, imprisoned, and or exiled for the simple reason that they were thought to be in favor of Ukrainian independence. So this is the photo from that protest. Then, dissidents paid an especially heavy price, such as Vasil Stus, Yuri Litvin, and Oleksa Tikhy, who were reburied, pictured in Kyiv on November 19th, 1989, with the then banned Ukrainian flag proudly displayed. The 3 died while serving time for various crimes, including anti-Soviet activity, so nationalism, and anti-Soviet agitation and propaganda, so Ukrainian independence, nationalism. This is them being reburied with the Ukrainian flags that were banned during the Soviet times. Also, for those of you who did not know, Ukrainian flags were banned in the Soviet Union. On January 21st, 1990, 3 million Ukrainians joined hands to form a human chain, the Ukrainian way. from Lviv to the capital, Kyiv, pictured to commemorate the 71st anniversary of a short-lived Ukrainian republic established in 1919. It was the largest demonstration in late Soviet Ukraine. So I was talking to my dad today, and apparently his dad was forcing my 23-year-old dad at the time to go join the human chain. And my 23-year-old dad was like, no, like I have stuff to do. I have friends to hang out with. I'm not going with you and your friends to go join this human chain. Absolutely not. So my dad was not part of the human chain and he regrets it now. But he was like, I was 23. I was like, oh, what human chain for Ukrainian independence? Like, what are you talking about? So yeah. So that's a very, very un-Tato-like moment from my Tato. I feel like maybe that is why he's so incredibly patriotic and so incredibly expressive of his patriotism now, because the man didn't participate in the chain. I could feel the pain in his voice. Thank you, Jen. Elections in March 1990 fractured the Communist Party's monopoly on power in Ukraine. Months later, a Soviet president, Mikhail Gorbachev, sought to prevent the disintegration of the USSR. Hundreds of thousands of people participated in protests and strikes across Ukraine calling for independence. The Revolution of Granite, pictured, was a student protest held that year in October, centered on Maidan Nezalezhnosti, Independence Square in Kyiv. So this is what it looked like. Young people in Ukraine are incredibly politically active and always have been. Дякую. Я також, якщо чесно. Я також була в шоці. On August 1st, 1991, US President George Bush delivered the Chicken Kyiv speech. Chicken Kyiv, it's supposed to be not Kiev, in which he warned Ukrainians about the dangers of suicidal nationalism, a phrase used by Gorbachev. He further exhorted them to remember that freedom is not the same as independence. 4 months later, Bush reversed course when he was forced to recognize an independent Ukraine. Bush left, and the chairman of Ukraine's parliament, Leonid Kravchuk, during talks on August 5th, 1991. So Kravchuk was the first president of independent Ukraine, Leonid Kravchuk. Then we had Leonid Kuchma, then we had Viktor Yushchenko, then we unfortunately had, I'm not even gonna name him, screw him. Then we had Poroshenko, and now we have Zelensky. And thank you, Melissa. An attempted putsch was launched between August 19th and August 22nd by hardline communists seeking to overthrow Gorbachev and reverse his reforms. Their efforts faced popular resistance and quickly collapsed. In the chaotic days that followed on August 24th, the Ukrainian parliament declared the country's independence. The declaration was made subject to popular ratifications by a referendum on December 1st, 1991. Ukrainians celebrated the August 24th proclamation by tossing former political prisoner Levko Lukyanenko into the air. Lukyanenko was one of the founders of the Ukrainian Helsinki Group in 1976. He was also a co-author of the 1991 Independence Declaration. This is him, Levko Lukyanenko. Oh, thank you, Jack, for wishing me a happy Independence Day. It was Viktor Yushchenko. He was poisoned by Viktor Yanukovych's team with what looks like Novichok agent, because Yanukovych was the pro-Russian candidate who later became president and later fled Ukraine because of the 2014 Maidan Nezalezhnosti revolution, because he was the one who wanted Putin. The first direct presidential elections in Ukraine's history were to take place on December 1st, 1991, the same day as its independence referendum. A supporter of presidential candidate Kravchuk holds his campaign poster in Kyiv on November 30th. A campaign worker holds up a newspaper that says "For a Free Ukraine" in Kyiv. За вільну Україну. A supporter carries a campaign poster for former dissident Lukyanenko, now a presidential candidate in Kyiv. Both Ukrainian and European flags are seen during a pro-independence rally in Kyiv. This is 1991, guys. The historic ballot contains the question, do you confirm the act of proclamation of the independence of Ukraine, with two possible answers, yes, confirm, or no, do not confirm. Ukrainians cast their ballots in Kyiv on December 1st, 1991, the first democratic election in Ukraine since we were colonized by the Soviet Union. Vyacheslav Chernovil was surrounded by members of press in Lviv as the nation voted. Chernovil was a prominent Ukrainian politician and Soviet dissident who had founded the Popular Movement of Ukraine, which had pushed for reforms and more sovereignty. After years of political persecution and multiple arrests, he was able to run as candidate for president. He is also the creator of this, which is the gesture for the Ukrainian trident. Voters wait patiently to cast their ballots at the Kalinin mine in Donetsk, eastern Ukraine. Same with voters in Odessa, who are signing to receive their ballots. Wait, I'm getting word that Lukashenko congratulated Ukrainians with the Independence Day, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You little dictatorial Russian mess? What? No. Lukyanenko signs to cast his vote. Under the watchful gaze of Taras Shevchenko, voters cast their ballots. Shevchenko's literary legacy is widely regarded as the bedrock of modern Ukrainian literature and, to a large extent, the modern Ukrainian language. This is what it looked like. Kravchuk casts his vote in Kyiv. Kravchuk received 61.6% of the vote to become the next president of Ukraine. And he did. On December 8th, 1991, Ukrainian President Kravchuk, second from left, Belarusian Supreme Soviet Chairman Stanislav Shushkevich, third from left, and Russian President Boris Yeltsin, second from right, signed a declaration that the Soviet Union, as a geopolitical reality and a subject of international law, has ceased to exist. And I would like to read to you the post that I wrote on Instagram today, because this is kind of how I feel. This is not kind of, but this is how I feel about. This is how I feel about the situation. Happy 31st birthday as an independent sovereign state, my dear homeland. Although this day is incredibly bittersweet this year, on this same day in 2023, we will be celebrating your glory and incredible history of invincible fight for freedom, louder and prouder than ever before. And just like today, our national anthem will fill the cities of Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kherson, but this time there won't be any Russians violated by the sound of it. Today, Ukrainian hackers hacked into the radio stations in Crimea and other temporarily occupied places, and were playing the Ukrainian anthem and Ukrainian songs. So then it follows by Ukrainian. I'm going to translate it to the best of my ability as I go, because it is my version of the Ukrainian anthem, and the Ukrainian glory and freedom will never die. brothers Ukrainians, we're going to have faith smile to us forever now. Our enemies are already dying like morning. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the word. But little droplets of water in the morning, but like the droplets of water in the sun. And we will never let them and we will never let them take over us in our land. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes on the front lines and in the back. Forever remember the brave fighters that again laid their soul and their body for our freedom and for our glorious future. We are an invincible nation. We are Ukrainian. We are going to win. We are going to rebuild. We are going to mourn and we are going to mourn our boys and girls, and we are going to make them proud. Everything is going to be Ukraine. So that is what I have to say this Independence Day to everybody who is Ukrainian and everybody who isn't, because that's how I feel about so yeah, that's how I feel about Ukraine's independence, and that's how I feel about today. Sorry, I am a little discombobulated today, but it is what it is. I am just a little too many emotions, you know? Hi, K-Town Canadian, thank you. So, yeah. Okay, so I am going to play the Ukrainian national anthem today before we start the news, and then we're gonna start the news. Усміхнеться доля, згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануєм ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. So this is an excerpt of our national anthem that they usually play. Thank you, Dwight, during events. And this is like the first verse. Happy Independence Day, dear Homeland. And hopefully soon we're going to be able to celebrate it louder and prouder than we ever had. Just like 1991, but better. The residence of the British Prime Minister on Downing Street was decorated for the Independence Day of Ukraine. This is what Downing Street looks like today. I find this beautiful. It's funny because those blue flowers are also flowers that are very popular in Ukraine. Russia kidnaps Ukrainian children in occupied territories and adopts them among Russian families. Institute for the Study of War. The main conclusions of analysts. Russian government sources have confirmed that the Russian authorities are taking Ukrainian children to Russia and giving them up for adoption by Russian families. Russian authorities are deploying security forces in the Luhansk region, likely in response to declining support for the war and growing reluctance to fight among Luhansk residents. Such deployments divert forces from the operations elsewhere in Ukraine, contributing to Russia's broader failure to turn limited tactical gains into operational gains. Russian troops have achieved limited success east of the city of Mykolaiv and northwest of the Kherson region. The RF regions continue to increase one-time monetary allowances for recruits and possibly lure personnel without military experience into positions. Ukrainian partisan activity continues to slow down Russian occupation activity. Lukashenko, in congratulating Ukraine on Independence Day, wished a peaceful sky. Is this a joke? I am convinced that today's contradictions will not be able to destroy the centuries-old foundation of sincere, good neighborly relations between the peoples of the two countries. Belarus will continue to stand for the preservation of harmony, the development of friendly and mutual respectful contacts at all levels. That is what Belarus had said today. Last night in the cities of Ukraine, everything was restless. In Zaporizhia, 6 apartment buildings were damaged by rocket attacks. The Dnipropetrovsk region was shelled with Grad and Hurricane MLRS. 2 houses were destroyed, more than 10 were damaged, a family was injured. Luhansk region was shelled 13 times from cannon artillery, 17 times from MLRS, 5 times from mortars. 6 times the Russians were forced to retreat when they tried to attack. Kharkiv was fired from MLRS, probably by cluster munitions. Later, a rocket exploded over the districts, according to preliminary data. It was Caliber. At least 4 people were injured at home. On August 23rd, the Russians killed 1 civilian of Donbass in Bakhmut. 2 more people were injured. Congratulations speech of Volodymyr Zelensky on Independence Day of Ukraine. We meet this day in different places. Someone is in the trenches and dugouts, in tanks and APCs, at sea and in the air. Someone is fighting for independence on the front lines. Someone is on the road in cars, trucks, and trains. Someone fights for independence, delivering what is necessary to those on the front lines. And someone is on a smartphone or at a computer, and he or she also fights for independence, collecting funds so that those on the road have something to bring to those on the front lines. We meet this day in different circumstances, conditions, and even in different time zones, but with a single goal: preservation of independence and victory of Ukraine. We have united. Happy Independence Day, Ukraine. Google congratulated Ukraine on its Independence Day. The author of the drawing is Kharkiv artist Olga Shtonda. This is what it looks like. British intelligence update. Today marks the 31st anniversary of Ukraine's independence. Since 2014, President Putin has sought to use a mix of force and coercive diplomacy to increase and solidify Russia's influence in Ukraine and interfere in its sovereign affairs. Russia launched a full invasion of Ukraine 6 months ago with the aim of toppling the government and occupying most of the country. By April, Russia's leaders realized this had failed and reverted to more modest objectives in eastern and southern Ukraine. Не позорься. Ну так и не позорься. Иди вон Путину поплачь, я не знаю. Не позорься. Боже, вы такие смешные. Вы думаете, мне насрать, что какие-то дебильные россияне говорят? Чувак, я бы тебе сказала, пойди смой свою «не позорься» в туалет, но у тебя туалета нету. Ну, не знаю, пойди смой помойку куда-то, я не знаю, ну не позорься, блядь. Thank you, Yuri. The Donbass offensive is making minimal progress, and Russia anticipates a major Ukrainian counterattack. Operationally, Russia is suffering from shortages of munitions, vehicles, and personnel. Morale is poor. In many parts of its military and its army is significantly degraded. Its diplomatic power had been diminished and its long-term economic outlook is bleak. 6 months in and Russia's war has proven both costly and strategically harmful. If the EU does not ban the issuance of visas to Russians, Lithuania may raise this issue at the regional level. This was stated by Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis. The Lithuanian Foreign Ministry stressed that Russian citizens should not cross EU borders. First of all, we're looking for a European solution because it is the most sustainable and legally correct. If this is not found, we do not exclude the possibility of finding a regional solution that would include the Baltic countries, Poland, and possibly Finland, the minister said. Hi, Sky! Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Zaluzhny, congratulated Ukrainians on the Independence Day. How can you feel independent? Those who fight for Ukraine know the taste of independence. It is the taste of the earth ingrained into the skin, the taste of blood and death that pervades the air. Statement from President Biden on Ukraine Independence Day. Biden approves biggest $3 billion military aid package for Ukraine as a happy Independence Day statement. Ukraine had already been congratulated on independence by President of Poland Duda, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, British Ambassador to Ukraine Melinda Simmons, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, Дякую, Head of the NATO Military Committee Admiral Rob Bauer, U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Bridget Brink, European Commission. So here are the videos of above-mentioned events.
Dorogi ukraiński bracia, wielki narody Ukrainy. Polska jako pierwsza w świecie uznała niepodległość Ukrainy. Dzisiaj również solidarnie stoimy przy was, gdy Ukraina broni swej wolności, odpierając rosyjskich agresorów. Wiem, że zwyciężycie. My, Polacy, wierzymy, że wolna Ukraina, odbudowana ze zniszczeń, będzie cieszyć się dobrobytem w europejskiej wspólnocie. Przyjmijcie, proszę, najlepsze życzenia z okazji rocznicy waszej niepodległości, składane w czasie, gdy wszyscy widzimy, jaką niepodległość ma cenę. Niech przyjaźń mocno łączy Polaków i Ukraińców. Niech żyje niepodległa Ukraina. Niech żyje wolna Polska.
I'm delighted to offer my congratulations on the 31st anniversary of Ukraine's Declaration of Independence. And to remember that amazing day in 1991 when Ukrainians celebrated in the streets as their country was reborn as a sovereign state. Alas, today, Ukraine's independence is threatened once again, and her people are fighting with steel and with courage to defend their homes and their families and to preserve their right to decide their own destiny in their own country. I've never doubted for a moment that Ukraine is going to win this struggle, because no force on earth can overcome the patriotism of 44 million Ukrainians. And however long it takes, the United Kingdom will stand with Ukraine and provide every possible military, economic, and humanitarian support. Since the 24th of February, we've supplied Ukraine with more defensive weapons than any other European country, including nearly 7,000 anti-tank missiles, and we've welcomed over 100,000 of our Ukrainian friends to find safety here.
Oh, Boris.
One day, Ukraine will come through this ordeal and achieve victory. And when that moment comes, as it will, we in the UK will be even prouder to be friends of Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Незалежності та чекаємо на нього щороку, але, на жаль, сьогодні це свято захмарено війною Росії. Це справді жахлива війна. Я мала змогу переконатися в цьому, відвідавши Бучу, Ірпінь, Чернігів та інші міста, де російські війська залишали свій кривавий.
Юля, привіт!
Але українці дають хитну відсіч ворогу. Нас це надихає, і разом з нашими союзниками ми робимо все можливе, щоб допомогти вашій боротьбі. Це і зброя, і навчання,
jakimi zabezpečujemo i
But
sankcije,
he's out
які
end of
крушать
September,
російську
Carlos.
воєнну машину, і гуманітарна допомога для повернення громад до життя. Я захоплююся стійкістю і сміливістю українців. Навіть за таких жахливих обставин вони зберігають почуття гумору та щодня народжують нові символи свого опору. Але найважливіше – це розуміння, що захищаючи свою незалежність, Україна захищає головні цінності вільного світу – свободу та
No, a
демократію.
successor hasn't been chosen yet.
Саме тому світ об'єднався заради України. І ми будемо з вами
Glory to the
стільки,
heroes.
скільки це потрібно, щоб День Незалежності став днем вашої остаточної перемоги. День Незалежності. Слава Україні!
Thank you, Victoria.
Dear Ukrainians, dear friends, your great poet Taras Shevchenko wrote, "It makes great difference to me
Героям слава.
that evil folk and wicked
Дякую.
men attack our Ukraine once so free, and rob and plunder it at will. It makes great difference to me." It makes great difference to NATO too. Russia's war in Ukraine is the greatest crisis
Yes, me too.
for Europe's security since World War II. The Ukrainian armed forces and the whole Ukrainian people are showing tremendous courage and determination. And under President Zelensky's leadership, you are an inspiration to the world. I pay tribute to all those who have lost their lives or been injured, and to all Ukrainian men and women who are fighting for their country, their freedom, and their loved ones. NATO and allies have been supporting Ukraine since her country won its independence. We stepped up our support after Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. And we have been doing more than ever since the start of Russia's invasion. You can continue to count on NATO's support for as long as it takes. As NATO leaders made clear at our Madrid summit, a strong, independent Ukraine is vital for the stability of the Euro-Atlantic area. Ukraine must prevail, and Ukraine will prevail. On your Independence Day, I wish you strength and success.
Dear Ukrainians, and specifically dear men and women of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, on this Independence Day, we honor your immense courage, your muzhnost. Under the leadership of President Zelensky and Chief of Defense General Zaluzhny, you have fundamentally changed modern warfare. With your strategic vision and your practical tactical brilliance, you outmaneuver your opponent time and time again. The Russian forces have no idea what they are fighting for, but you do. You are fighting for civilization itself. Your strength and resilience have astounded the world. We see it in the Ukrainian soldier who blew himself up to destroy the Henichesk bridge to prevent the Russians from coming in. We see it in the lightning speed and effectiveness with which the Ukrainian military is using new weaponry. We see it in the thousands of volunteers who choose to fight side by side with you. We see it in the Ukrainian army of the people who are doing whatever they can to help, even removing landmines with their bare hands. Brothers and sisters in arms, we salute your courage. We salute the courage of those who paid the ultimate price, and the courage of those who are suffering from the mental and physical effects of the war. Ukraine can win this war, and Ukraine will emerge victorious from the quagmire. You can count on NATO to support you every step of the way. Slava Ukraini!
З Днем Незалежності, Україна! 6 months, Ukraine has demonstrated incredible unity and resolve in your heroic defense against Russia's aggression. Today, as you mark your Independence Day, we stand united with you as that struggle continues in the face of Russia's brutal and unprovoked war. I want to express my profound respect to the Ukrainian armed forces for their extraordinary courage and strength in the fight for Ukraine's future. I join all of my team at the U.S. Embassy in honoring those who defend their homes, their families, their neighbors, Ukraine's freedom, and the values we share. We know that Ukraine will prevail. We stand with you now, and we will continue to stand with you in the pursuit of the sovereign, democratic, prosperous, and independent Ukraine that has driven generations of Ukrainians. And the United States will continue to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. Ми разом з вами. Слава Україні!
Okay. Today's European Commission congratulated Ukraine on Twitter, saying 31 years of independence, 6 months of an existential fight to preserve it. Ukraine already belongs in the European family, and Europe is at your side every step of the way. Now, on Twitter, official Ukraine account posted, and I quote, I just saw someone ask me if I saw it. I didn't, but I had to go and check. Thank you, Annette. And this is Ukraine on Twitter. Thanks for the greetings. P.S. Wish list. MLRS, 155 millimeters, battle tanks, APCs, air missile defense aircraft. Hugs, everyone. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. I love Ukraine. Also, a friend of mine had just sent me a video from Azov families, and I want to share it with you guys. Oh, let me
Put your finger.
let me do this. I want to save the video. And I want to play it on my iPad because it's just going to be better that way. Червона калина похилилася, щось там наша славна Україна зажурилася.
Я часто думаю, з чого складалось життя, яке в нас так настирливо забирають. З чого люди, яких я кохаю? З чого ти, моя любов? Ти з тепла, зі спогадів, що не дають здаватись. Ти з яскравого сонця, ти з цілого світу, що міститься у долоні. Ти з чистого серця, ти з честі, з відваги, з небаченої сили, з ніжності. Ти зі сталі, ти з сили, яку ломали, але не змогли. Ти з мужності, ти з пам'яті в кожному серці. Ти з тих, кого ловили, та я знаю, що тебе ніколи, нікому не вдасться дійсно спіймати. Ти з незламних. Так було завжди, так буде далі. Ти зі сталі. Ти кращий з людей. Ти з тих, кого ми не маємо права віддати. Ти знов повернешся. Я вірю. Я знаю. Ти ж зі сталі. Борімося за тих, хто виборює нашу незалежність. Free Azovstal Defenders.
Yeah, it's an incredible. It's This one is incredibly sad and I think incredibly important. And I think that Azovstal defenders are the people that everyone started forgetting about. And today is supposed to be their show trial, or their show trial is supposed to be at some point soon. And I think that it's incredibly important that we don't forget about them, because they are some of the bravest defenders of Ukraine. And they have quite literally given their lives and given their happiness, their freedom, and their soul and their body for Ukrainian independence and for our happy lives. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, the invaders hit a private house. 2 children were trapped under the rubble. Greetings from the invaders on Ukraine's Independence Day. Explosions are reported in Vinnytsia and Chernihiv regions. The head of the Vinnytsia Army, Serhiy Borzov, confirms the work of the air defense. An enemy unmanned aerial vehicle was shot down in the Chernihiv region around 15:30 by forces and means of air defense. Explosions are reported in the Sinelnikovsky district of Dnipropetrovsk. It is reported about a death of an 11-year-old boy due to shelling. In Chernihiv region, the report about the repeated work of air defense has been heard. Hi, Walasi. The mayor of Mykolaiv, Alexander Sankevich, confirmed the shelling of the city. As the result of the shelling, a fire broke out outside of the city. Explosions are also reported in Zhytomyr region. Possibly it is air defense. Explosions are reported in the Khmelnytsky region. In Shepatovka, Khmelnytsky region, strikes are announced. The head of the Khmelnytsky army confirmed strikes in the region. Another explosion is reported in Shepativka after the end of the air raid siren. Also, let me do this. Boris Johnson came to Ukraine and already met with Volodymyr Zelensky. Hi, Vermont. I'm glad to congratulate Boris Johnson, great friend of Ukraine, on Independence Day. Boris, thank you for the uncompromising support of our country from the first days of the full-scale Russian aggression, for steadfastly defending the interests of Ukraine on the international arena. Our country is lucky to have such a friend, Zelensky wrote. Boris Johnson announced the provision of a new large package of military aid to Ukraine worth £54 million, which will include 850 microdrones, Office of the Head of the British government. What is happening in Ukraine is important for all of us. This is why I am in Kyiv today. This is why Great Britain will continue to support our Ukrainian friends. I believe that Ukraine can win this war, Johnson wrote on Twitter. Shoigu sent Defense Minister Reznikov an ultimatum to surrender on February 24th. The Washington Post reports that the head of the Russian Defense Ministry conveyed his message through his Belarusian counterpart, Viktor Khrenin. If Ukraine signs the act of surrender, then the invasion will stop. Alexei Reznikov replied, I'm ready to accept surrender from the Russian side. Hi, Joey. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Hi. Ex-head of Yekaterinburg, Evgeny Roizman, detained in Russia. Roizman became a defendant in a criminal case on discrediting the Russian armed forces. On August 24th, searches were carried out in his apartment, as well as in the Nevyansk Icon Foundation and private museum. Roizman himself was taken to the main investigation department of the Ministry of Internal Affairs to continue the investigation. The UN Security Council voted for the speech of the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, at its meeting in the video format. This decision was supported by 13 states. Russia opposed and China abstained. Representatives of Russia, Vasily Nebenzia, explained his vote against by the fact that the Russian delegation supports only the in-person participation of the Ukrainian president in the meeting of the Security Council. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council meeting in Ukraine has already begun, and Zelensky is already speaking in video format. If Russia does not stop now, if Russia is not stopped now by the victory of Ukraine, then all these killers may eventually come to other countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America. Norway and the UK will hand over Teledyne Fleur Black Hornet microdrones to Ukraine. Russia continues to launch missile and air strikes on military and civilian targets in Ukraine, in the Slavyansk direction, in the Bakhmut direction, in the Avdiivka direction, in the Novopavlovsk direction, and in the South Bukh direction. Ukraine to receive 6 NASAMS high-tech air defense systems in new U.S. aid package, Biden announced today. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal, we plan to be fully ready to join the European Union by the end of 2024. Not a day has gone by without shelling Kharkiv. Wait 1 second, let me see. In the Transcarpathian town of Parachin, a 100-meter flag was unfurled on Mount Hurka, and that is what it looks like. Beautiful. In Prague, there have been protests against the work of global corporations on the Russian market, the Embassy of Ukraine in the Czech Republic. A crusade took place on Charles Bridge, during which Ukrainians called on global organizations to leave the Russian market and stop sponsoring Russian terrorism. In Kharkiv, the police went on patrol in the captured armored vehicle of the invaders. The Russian Tiger is in Kharkiv, but not as planned by the invaders. On the day of the city, the trophy vehicle went on patrol, Senahubov said. Erdogan, international law demands that Crimea be returned to Ukraine. Oh, really? And also he added that he stands with his Tatar brothers, those same Tatar brothers that were not allowed to speak Krim Tatar in Turkey, the same brothers that he is letting be tortured for the past 8 years by Russia, and he is still buying Russian oil and exporting goods to Russia, and the export doubled this year, and they're like buddy-buddy with Putin. Well, maybe if you want to stand with your Tatar brothers, like maybe stop having sex with Putin. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Annette. Canada to allocate $3 million to reform Ukraine's defense sector, Office of the Prime Minister of Canada. Thank you, Gabby. Reuters, Germany plans to supply Ukraine with additional Iris-T air defense systems and other weapons. Ukrainians have destroyed the feeling of Russia's invincibility that prevails among many. President of Georgia, Salome Zurabishvili. French Foreign Ministry, Lavrov confirmed the Russian Federation's consent to the IAEA mission at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. I'm scared. What are they planning? President of Moldova, Maya Sandu, the consequences of the war unleashed by Russia go far beyond Ukraine. Moldova has felt them too. Mariupol a year ago. Mariupol was and will be a Ukrainian city that is proud of its national flag. City Chief Advisor Petro Andrushenko. Привіт! Main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Russian troops are targeting and deliberately firing the ash dumps of the Zaporizhzhia thermal power station to raise clouds of radioactive dust. Now the wind is blowing the clouds around the occupied city of Enerhodar. The Office of the President of Ukraine. The Walk of Courage was opened in Kyiv. It is an analog to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, but it will celebrate not stars, but leaders and representatives of partner countries who have been supporting Ukraine since the beginning of the full-scale war. The first foreign leader whose name appeared on the walk was Andrzej Duda, president of Poland. Minister of Defense Ukraine Oleksiy Reznikov told CNN that the possibility of deploying the worst-case scenario for Ukraine is over. According to him, the phase of stabilization of the entire battlefield is now underway, and Ukraine is on the threshold of a new stage of the war with a counterattack in various directions. Thank you. So there is a video I want to play for you guys on YouTube. So for everyone who's able to go over to YouTube, please do so, because on YouTube I can just play it in its actual size without having to hold up an iPad, and it usually is much better and the quality is much better. So if you can, please go over to YouTube. Thank you so much for all of the happy Independence Day wishes, because I would really like to be able, I would really like for you guys to get full format. So if you're able to, please go over to YouTube. YouTube is the same as TikTok. If you don't follow YouTube, then YouTube is linked on my profile. Hi guys. Thank you for coming over. I'm going to upload the video file. And, okay. Дякую. 1 second. Okay.
Летіли в ніч до козака, бачиш, сину мій, свічка не згаса, до віку буде вже горіти, горітиме вона, молодий юнак, молодий козак. Мамині очі чекають тебе, сива у розпачі плаче, сина все чекає, та умовчи його душа. Я бою за волю пішов удалечінь, за правду і долю нових поколінь, за тих, хто в морі далеко, і крилами лелеки повернеться живі.
Yeah, so this was from Ukraine now on our Independence Day, or rather about our Independence Day, and I just really liked the video and I really wanted to show it to you guys. The European Union believes that Ukraine is making rapid progress in reforming the judicial system and fighting corruption. EU Ambassador to Ukraine, Mati Maasikas. Okay, well, that's all I have for today, guys. I do need to run because I'm going to be going to Central Park for the unveiling of the largest Ukrainian flag in existence, supposedly. And we do want to go to Ulta and get some glitter that's Ukrainian colored. So we're going to run, and I will see you guys later. And I will go live from the demonstration. Alrighty, guys. Bye. Oh, I'll see you later tonight because we will do some chat roulette.